Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to talk about history of Steve Jobs and the Apple story. Let's get started. Steve Jobs and the Apple story. The legacy and lessons of Apple's co-founder. Apple is one of the most popular and powerful companies in the world. Not only that, it revolutionized how we communicate and more. Starting by creating computers, Apple surged to the forefront of the most important companies in history, with the creation of the iPod, the iPhone, and the iPad. All of this success stemmed from the mind of its co-founder, Steve Jobs. On October 5, 2011, Steve Jobs passed away at the age of 56. He had just left the CEO post at Apple, the company he co-founded, and returned to for a second period as its head. 12 Jobs was an entrepreneur through and through. And the story of his rise is the story of Apple as a company, along with some very interesting twists. In this article, we'll look at the career of Steve Jobs and the company he founded, as well as some of the lessons Apple offers for potential entrepreneurs. The fact that Apple was the first company to surpass the $1 trillion market capitalization mark, and later the $2 trillion and $3 trillion marks, is in no small part connected to the legacy and lessons learned from Steve Jobs. Key takeaways. Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak co-founded Apple in 1976, introducing first the Apple I and then the Apple II. Apple went public in 1980 with Jobs, the blazing visionary, and Wozniak, the shy genius, executing his vision. Executive John Sculley was added in 1983. In 1985, Apple's board of directors ousted the combative Jobs in favor of Sculley. Away from Apple, Jobs invested in and developed animation producer Pixar, and then founded Next to create high-end computers. NXT eventually led him back to Apple. Jobs returned to Apple in the late 1990s and spent the years until his death in 2011 revamping the company, introducing the iPod, iPhone, and iPad, and transforming technology and communication in the process. From blue boxes to Apple, Steve Jobs got his start in business with another Steve Wozniak, building the blue boxes phone phreakers use to make free calls across the nation. The two were members of the Homebrew Computer Club, where they quickly became enamored with kit computers and left the blue boxes behind. Founding Apple in 1976, the next product the two sold was the Apple I, which was a kit for building a PC in order to do anything with it. The customer needed to add their own monitor and keyboard library. Of Congress, the founding of Apple Computer, Inc., with Wozniak doing most of the building and Jobs handling the sales. The two made enough money off the hobbyist market to invest in the Apple II. It was the Apple II that made the company, which was incorporated in 1977. Jobs and Wozniak created enough interest in their new product to attract venture capital. This meant they were in the big leagues and the company would continue to grow. The roller coaster ride begins. By 1979, Apple was making over $5 million in net income solely on the strength of the Apple II. The Apple II wasn't state-of-the-art, but it did allow computer enthusiasts to create and sell their own programs. Among these user-generated programs was VisiCalc, a type of protocell that represented the first software with business applications, although Apple did not profit directly from these programs. They did see more interest as the uses for the Apple II broadened. This model of allowing users to create their own programs and sell them would reappear in the app market of the future, but with a much tighter business strategy around it. By the time Apple went public in 1980, the dynamic of the company was more or less set. Steve Jobs was the fiery visionary, with an intense and often combative management style. And Steve Wozniak was the quiet genius who made the vision work. Apple's board of directors wasn't too fond of such a power imbalance in the company, however. Jobs and the board agreed to add John Sculley to the executive team in 1983. In 1985, the board ousted Jobs in favor of Sculley. The gap years. Steve Jobs was rich and unemployed. Although he wasn't working at Apple, he was far from idle. During this time, from 1985 to 1996, Jobs was involved in two big deals. The first of which was an investment in 1986. Jobs purchased a controlling stake in a company called Pixar from George Lucas. The company was struggling, but its eventual success in digital animation led to an initial public offering, IPO, that earned Jobs around $1 billion. The second was a return to his old obsession with computers, founding Next to create high-end computers. These were expensive machines with an operating system representing the best attempt yet at making the power of Unix fit into a graphical user interface. When Tim Berners-Lee created the World Wide Web, he did so using a Next machine of these two deals. NXT proved the most important. As it turned out, Apple was looking to replace its operating system. Apple bought Next in 1996 for its operating system, bringing Steve Jobs back to the first company he founded, getting Apple back on track. When Jobs returned, the company wasn't in a good place. Apple had begun to flounder as cheap PCs running Windows flooded the market. Jobs found himself in the driver's seat again and took some drastic steps to turn around Apple's decline. The company asked for and received a $150 million investment from Bill Gates. Jobs used the money to ramp up advertising and highlight the products Apple already offered while choking off research and development. R&D money in non-producing areas. The next operating system was used to create the iMac, Apple's first hit PC in a long time. Jobs followed this up with a list of successes from the iPod in 2001 to the iPhone in 2007. And the iPad in 2010, the years between saw Apple market with the iPhone. Open up an e-commerce store with iTunes and launch branded retail outlets called What Else? The Apple Store. When Jobs stepped down as CEO, Apple was scrapping with Exxon for the world's largest market cap. How much of Apple did Steve Jobs own? Surprisingly, at the time of his death, Steve Jobs only owned 0.24% of Apple. The bulk of his wealth came from the shares he owned in Disney, which was approximately 7% of the company. Why did Steve Jobs create Apple? There are a few reasons why Steve Jobs created Apple. One being his entrepreneurial spirit. Another being his interest in computers. And also his and Wozniak's vision of making computers accessible to the larger public by making them small enough to fit into homes and offices. How long did Steve Jobs leave Apple? Steve Jobs was fired from Apple in 1985 and was brought back in 1996 when his company, Next, was purchased by Apple. This means he was gone from Apple for 11 years. The bottom line: it's impossible to sum up Jobs' career in a single article, but a few lessons stick out. First, innovation counts for a lot, but innovative products fail without proper marketing. Second, there are no straight paths to success. Jobs did get wealthy early on, but he would be a footnote today if he hadn't returned to Apple in the 90s. At one point, Jobs was kicked out of the company he helped create for being hard to work with. Rather than change, he bided his time, then took over again. And this time, his attitude was seen as part of his genius. There is much more to be learned from the life of Steve Jobs, as there is in the life of every successful entrepreneur. The sheer hubris of the entrepreneurial spirit, the idea that you can do something bigger and better than it has ever been done before, always bears watching and studying. Whether to imitate or just to marvel at, compete risk-free with $100,000 in virtual cash. Put your trading skills to the test with our free stock simulator. Compete with thousands of Investopedia traders and trade your way to the top. Submit trades in a virtual environment before you start risking your own money. Practice trading strategies so that when you're ready to enter the real market, you've had the practice you need. Life before the iPhone. The iPhone, introduced by Apple in 2007, stands as one of the most groundbreaking and transformative technological innovations of the 21st century. Its impact on the way we live, communicate, work, and play cannot be overstated. Before the iPhone's inception, the mobile phone landscape was vastly different. These devices were primarily tools for voice communication, simple text messaging, and, at best, basic web browsing. The notion of a handheld device that could seamlessly combine a phone, music player, camera, and computer was a futuristic dream. In the pre-iPhone era, mobile devices were often clunky and offered limited functionality. People carried a multitude of gadgets to meet their various needs. Flip phones for calls, digital cameras for photography, MP3 players for music, and personal digital assistants, PDAs, for basic productivity. The iPhone was a game changer, bringing all these functions into a single, sleek device. It seamlessly integrates phone calls, text messaging, email, web browsing, and an ever-expanding array of applications within a beautifully designed package. This convergence of technologies not only simplified our lives, but also opened the door to countless new possibilities, culminating thus far in the iPhone 16 Pro, when Steve Jobs made iPhone's introduction. It marked a turning point in human interaction with technology. It redefined the way we access information, communicate with one another, and engage with the digital world. The App Store, introduced in 2008, gave birth to a thriving ecosystem of third-party applications that catered to nearly every aspect of our lives. From entertainment and productivity to healthcare and education, the iPhone became a versatile tool that empowered individuals and industries alike. The Apple iPhone's sleek design and user-friendly interface set the standard for modern smartphones, while the constant innovation in hardware and software continued to shape our evolving digital landscape. In this article, we will explore the evolution of the iPhone, from its inception to its most recent iterations, and the profound impact it has had on our daily lives. Let's take a look at some iPhone history and the advancements that were made in each model. iPhones by release. As we embark on this journey through the iPhone's evolution, we're transported through time from the original iPhone to the iPhone 15 models, witnessing the transformative power of innovation. The iPhone's history reads like a technological epic, where each chapter brings a new wave of possibilities and reshapes the way we connect and engage with the world. It all began with the original iPhone, released in 2007, which introduced us to the world of touchscreens and revolutionary mobile phone apps. From there, each of the subsequent iPhone models brought forth their own set of groundbreaking features, leaving an indelible mark on our digital lives. In this section, we'll embark on a chronological exploration of the iPhones by release, shedding light on the pioneering advancements and game-changing innovations that have defined each iteration. So, let's rewind from today's iPhone 15 Pro to where it all began, with the first iPhone. On the day Steve Jobs presented the very first iPhone to the world, he said, "Apple is going to reinvent the phone." Well, they sure did. Apple's first iPhone was announced by Steve Jobs on January 9th, 2007, and it was released on June 29th, 2007, priced at $499 for the 4 gigabytes model and $599 for the 8 gigabytes model. It was a revolutionary device. The original iPhone featured a 3.5-inch display, a 2-megapixel camera, and a multi-touch interface. It ran on a custom version of iOS, then called iPhone OS, and it combined an iPod, phone, and internet communicator in a single device, iPhone 3G. The original iPhone was definitely the talk of the town, but the second generation, the iPhone 3G, featured 3G connectivity, GPS, and the App Store, which allowed users to download third-party apps. It retained the same design as the original iPhone, but with updated internals. The iPhone 3G was introduced on June 9th, 2008, and it was available on July 11th, 2008. It came in 2 models, 8 gigabytes and 16 gigabytes, priced at $199 and $299, respectively. Around this time, people began to see the iPhone's long-term potential. iPhone 3GS. The iPhone 3GS launched in 2009. It came in 2 storage capacities, 16 gigabytes and 32 gigabytes, priced at $199 and $299, respectively. It was faster, featured a 3-megapixel camera with video recording, and introduced voice control. This is when adding the S to the end of a name became an Apple tradition. In this scenario, the S seemingly stood for speed. iPhone 4. The iPhone 4 was a game changer. It's unveiled on June 7th, 2010. It became available on June 24th, 2010. The iPhone 4 came in 2 models, 16 gigabytes and 32 gigabytes, priced at $199 and $299, respectively. It was a complete redesign with a sleek glass body and pixel-perfect Retina display. With the addition of a front-facing camera, FaceTime also came into existence. This newly defined iPhone introduced a new era of multitasking, as you could interact with multiple apps at once. iPhone 4S. This iPhone was released in 2011 and only had minor updates. It came in 3 storage options, 16 gigabytes, 32 gigabytes, and 64 gigabytes, priced at $199, $299, and $399, respectively. The iPhone 4S retained the same design as the iPhone 4 and was powered by the dual-core, a 5-chip. Additionally, the camera got upgraded to 8 megapixels, and the S didn't stand for speed. It stood for Siri, the brand new voice assistant that now plays such a big role on the iPhone. iPhone 5. With the new iPhone 5, iPhone history took another big step. iPhone 5 was unveiled on September 12, 2012, and it became available on September 21, 2012. It came in 3 storage capacities: 16 gigabytes, 32 gigabytes, and 64 gigabytes, priced at $199, $299, and $399, respectively. The screen also included an additional row of icons. Did you realize that? The iPhone 5 featured a taller 4-inch display and the A6 chip. It also replaced the charging port for a Lightning connector, added LTE support for new 4G networks, and the phone's casing was now made of lightweight aluminum. iPhone 5s. Apple announced the iPhone 5 South on September 10, 2013, and it was released on September 20, 2013. The iPhone 5 South came in 3 storage options: 16 gigabytes, 32 gigabytes, and 64 gigabytes, priced at $199, $299, and $399, respectively. It was powered by the A7 chip with a 64-bit architecture and featured improved camera capabilities. The iPhone 5 South had minimal design upgrades, but the incredible Touch ID feature was introduced. Say goodbye to passwords. Now you can access your phone with the ease of a fingerprint. This iPhone also had a new M7 motion processor that enabled users to track their steps throughout the day. The idea of health and fitness tracking was on the horizon. iPhone 5c, the fun and affordable option. Simultaneously with the iPhone 5s, Apple introduced the iPhone 5c on September 10, 2013. The iPhone 5c started at $99 for the 16 gigabytes model and $199 for the 32 gigabytes model. It featured a plastic, colorful shell and shared many internals with the iPhone 5. With a few cosmetic changes, users now had a wide variety of options to choose from. This model did not have as much storage, and the Touch ID feature was stripped off. At the time of the phone's release, Apple launched iOS 7, which brought a whole new level of multitasking for apps, and the Control Center was introduced for quick access to the iPhone's settings. iPhone 6 and 6 Plus. The iPhone 6 Plus was the first attempt at a large-screened smartphone with a display size of 5.5 inches from corner to corner. Apple unveiled the iPhone 6 and iPhone 6 Plus on September 9, 2014, and they were released on September 19, 2014. The iPhone 6 came in 3 storage capacities: 16 gigabytes, 64 gigabytes, and 128 gigabytes, priced at $199, $299, and $399, respectively. The larger iPhone 6 Plus had the same storage capacities, but was priced slightly higher. Both models featured a redesigned, thinner profile, larger displays, and the A8 chip. For some, the Plus size was way too big to carry around in our pockets, but there were certainly Plus enthusiasts. These two models were the first to support Apple Pay, and the camera became more advanced, giving better photo and video results. iPhone 6s and iPhone 6s Plus. In 2015, some more iPhone history was made. Apple announced the iPhone 6s and iPhone 6s Plus on September 9, 2015, with a release date of September 25, 2015. They were available in 3 storage options: 16 gigabytes and 128 gigabytes, priced at $199, $299, and $399 for the iPhone 6s, and slightly higher for the 6s Plus, although the outside of the phone didn't change much. The inside changed everything. These models introduced the A9 chip and improved camera technology. Additionally, these phones supported LTE advanced networks and had completely new 3D touch displays, which was a new way of touching our phones. Apple also made it possible to take live photos. iPhone SE. Since not everyone wants to have a smartphone with a big screen, Apple brought back the smaller 4-inch screen. The iPhone SE was introduced on March 21, 2016, and it was available on March 31, 2016. It was offered in 2 storage capacities: 16 gigabytes and 64 gigabytes, priced at $399 and $499, respectively. This phone offered the majority of flagship features, just with a smaller screen. The iPhone SE combined the design of the iPhone 5 South with the internals of the iPhone 6 South, featuring the A9 chip, a 12-megapixel camera, and Touch ID. It catered to users who preferred a smaller, more affordable iPhone. iPhone 7 and 7 Plus. The iPhone 7 and iPhone 7 Plus was the first time Apple didn't change the iPhone body after 2 years. Apple unveiled the iPhone 7 and iPhone 7 Plus on September 7, 2016, with a release date of September 16, 2016. These models came in 3 storage capacities: 32 gigabytes, 128 gigabytes, and 256 gigabytes, priced at $649, $749, and $849 for the iPhone 7, and higher for the 7 Plus. The phones featured the A10 Fusion chip and an advanced dual camera system, allowing users to take the perfect portrait photos. The biggest change was the removal of the headphone jack, which led to controversial debates. Apple also decided to make the phone water-resistant and included the most advanced processors yet. iPhone 8. The iPhone 8 introduces an entirely new glass design and many more amazing features. The iPhone 8 and iPhone 8 Plus were announced on September 12, 2017, and they were released on September 22, 2017. They were offered in 3 storage options: 64 gigabytes, 256 gigabytes, and 64 gigabytes, priced at $699, $849, and $849 for the iPhone 8, and higher for the 8 Plus. These models feature the most powerful and smartest chip ever, the AE11 Bionic. The Retina HD display, in combination with the new 12-megapixel camera, makes your photos and videos look more colorful than ever. The A11 Bionic provides an amazing amount of power to create extraordinary augmented reality apps and games. Additionally, the phone can be charged wirelessly. Say goodbye to annoying chargers. iPhone X. This is an iPhone that is all display. On the same day as the iPhone 8 announcement, Apple unveiled the new iPhone X, pronounced as iPhone X. It was released on November 3, 2017, and it came in 2 storage capacities: 64 gigabytes and 256 gigabytes, priced at $999 and $1,149, respectively. The seamless boundary between the device and the screen creates an immersive experience. Apple also eliminated the home button and created a navigation that is strictly gesture-based. Oh, and the cameras got a whole lot better too. The innovative TrueDepth camera system allows users to unlock their phone with just a glance, better known as Face ID. And the most exciting part, you can make your emojis talk. iPhone XR. Apple unveiled the iPhone XR on September 12, 2018. It was positioned as a more affordable alternative to the premium iPhone XS and iPhone XS Max. The iPhone XR started at $749 for the base model. It featured the A12 Bionic chip, camera, and a colorful design. The LCD Liquid Retina display and Face ID were also included. It was a popular choice for those who wanted the core iPhone experience with a slightly lower price point. iPhone XS. The iPhone XS was also released on September 12, 2018. Alongside the iPhone XR, the base model of the iPhone XS started at $999. It featured the A12 Bionic chip, a dual-lens camera system, and a stainless steel frame. The Super Retina, OLED display, and Face ID were highlights of the XS. It offered improvements in performance and camera capabilities over its predecessor, the iPhone X. iPhone XS Max. The iPhone XS Max was unveiled on September 12, 2018, alongside the iPhone XR, priced starting at $1,099 for the base model. The XS Max featured the powerful A12 Bionic chip, a sophisticated dual-lens camera system, and a sleek, stainless steel frame. The device boasted a Super Retina OLED display that delivered stunning visuals. And the introduction of Face ID further enhanced its security features compared to its predecessor. The iPhone X, the XS Max, offered significant improvements in both performance and camera capabilities, making it a compelling choice for Apple enthusiasts and smartphone users seeking cutting-edge technology. iPhone 11, iPhone 11 Pro, and iPhone 11 Pro Max. Apple introduced the iPhone 11 on September 10, 2019. It came in 3 models: iPhone 11, iPhone 11 Pro, and iPhone 11 Pro Max. The iPhone 11 was priced at $699 for the base model, while the Pro and the 11 Pro Max versions started at $999 and $1,099. Respectively. The iPhone 11 featured Apple's A13 Bionic chip, improved dual camera system, and a longer battery life. It was praised for its value proposition and the quality of its cameras, making it an attractive choice for many consumers. iPhone 12, iPhone 12 mini, iPhone 12 Pro, and iPhone 12 Pro Max. On October 13, 2020, Apple unveiled the new iPhone 12 series, consisting of the iPhone 12, iPhone 12 mini, iPhone 12 Pro, and iPhone 12 Pro Max. The iPhone 12 started at $799, while the Pro models began at $999 and $1,099. Respectively. The iPhone 12 series introduced 5G capabilities, a new MagSafe feature for improved accessories, and a sleek flat-edged design reminiscent of older iPhones. It featured the A14 Bionic chip, which was faster and more power efficient, along with improved camera capabilities, making it a significant upgrade for iPhone users. iPhone 13, iPhone 13, iPhone 13 mini, iPhone 13 Pro, and iPhone 13 Pro Max. Apple announced the iPhone 13 series on September 14, 2021. This lineup included the iPhone 13, iPhone 13 mini, iPhone 13 Pro, and iPhone 13 Pro Max. Pricing for the base iPhone 13 started at $699, while the Pro models were priced at $999 and $1,099. The iPhone 13 series continued to build on the A15 Bionic chip for enhanced performance and battery life. It featured camera improvements, including cinematic mode, and a smaller notch on the display. These new features, along with the reliability of the iPhone brand, continued to make the iPhone a popular choice among consumers. iPhone 14, iPhone 14 Plus, iPhone 14 Pro, and iPhone 14 Pro Max. Apple unveiled the iPhone 14 series, comprising the standard iPhone 14, iPhone 14 Plus, iPhone 14 Pro, and iPhone 14 Pro Max. On September 7, 2022, the iPhone 14 base, Pro, and Pro Max models were released on September 16, 2022, while the iPhone 14 Plus was released on October 7, 2022. Each model offered a range of storage options, with prices starting at $799 for the 128 GB base model, while the Plus, Pro, and Pro Max models started at $899, $999, and $1,099, respectively. That the iPhone 14 series was powered by the A15 Bionic chip and boasted improved displays and faster RAM for enhanced performance. Notably, the iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max models featured 1 TB storage options starting at $1,499 and $1,599, respectively. These higher-tier models touted Apple's latest chip advancement, the A16 Bionic Hexa-core chip, enhancing their performance even further. iPhone 15, iPhone 15 Plus, iPhone 15 Pro, and iPhone 15 Pro Max. Apple introduced the iPhone 15 series on September 12, 2023, and it was released on September 22, 2023. This series consisted of 4 models: iPhone 15, iPhone 15 Plus, iPhone 15 Pro, and iPhone 15 Pro Max. Prices start at $799 for the 128 GB base model, with the Plus, Pro, and Pro Max models starting at $899, $999, and $1,199, respectively. The iPhone 15 series brought numerous sweeping changes to the iPhone models up to this point. The iPhone 15 featured USB-C charging, camera quality improvements, and notably discontinued the iPhone Pro Max models with 128 GB storage. The iPhone 15 base and iPhone 15 Plus models run on the A16 Bionic Hexa-core chip, while the iPhone 15 Pro, Max, and Pro models run on Apple's latest chip innovation, the A17 Pro, iPhone 16, iPhone 16 Plus, iPhone 16 Pro, and iPhone 16 Pro Max. Apple introduced the iPhone 16 series on September 9, 2024, consisting of 4 models: iPhone 16, iPhone 16 Plus, iPhone 16 Pro, and iPhone 16 Pro Max. Prices start at $799 for the 128 GB base model, with the Plus, Pro, and Pro Max models starting, respectively. The iPhone 16 series features a sleek design, powerful performance, and advanced camera capabilities, with a refined aerospace-grade frame and smoother edges. The iPhone 16 and iPhone 16 Plus offer a premium feel. Their 6.3-inch and 6.7-inch Super Retina XDR displays, respectively, along with a 120 Hz refresh rate. Deliver vibrant visuals. The larger 6.9-inch iPhone 16 Pro and iPhone 16 Pro Max cater to users seeking a more immersive experience. A performance boost comes from the A18 Bionic chip powering all models, offering faster processing, energy efficiency, and enhanced AI for a seamless experience in gaming, apps, and photography. The 48MP camera, improved night mode, and enhanced ultra-wide lens ensure stunning photos. New video features include spatial audio capture and audio mix for enhanced sound editing, with up to 22 hours of video playback. The iPhone 16 series supports faster MagSafe charging and runs on iOS 18, which brings new customization features and better connectivity, including Wi-Fi 7 and upgraded 5G. Additional features included Action button with customizable shortcuts, messages via satellite, emergency SOS, live video, and roadside assistance via satellite, photographic styles with customizable moods, Apple Intelligence for natural language search, and the cleanup tool in photos. Recycled materials and Apple's 2030 environmental goals. iPhone 16e. In February 2025, Apple expanded its iPhone lineup with the introduction of the iPhone 16e, positioning it as a budget-friendly alternative within the iPhone 16 series. Priced starting at $599, the iPhone 16 East offered a blend of modern features and affordability, appealing to a broad spectrum of users. The iPhone 16e featured a 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display, delivering vibrant colors and sharp visuals. Its design mirrored that of the iPhone 14, featuring an aluminum frame and a glass back with a matte finish. Available in classic black and white color options, the device maintained a sleek and minimalist aesthetic. Notably, the iPhone 16e transitions from the traditional Lightning port to a USB-C port, aligning with universal charging standards. Equipped with Apple A18 chip, the iPhone 16e ensured smooth performance across various applications, including those utilizing Apple Intelligence, the company's AI platform at the time. The device also incorporated Apple's first in-house C1 modem, enhancing connectivity and power efficiency. Users extended usage with up to 26 hours of video playback on a single charge, making it a reliable companion for daily activities. The iPhone 16e was equipped with a 48-megapixel fusion camera system, enabling high-resolution photos with optical zoom options at 1x and 2x, while it lacked an ultra-wide lens. The primary camera supported various photography modes, including night mode and portrait mode with depth control. The front-facing 12-megapixel TrueDepth camera offered features like Smart HDR5 and 4K Dolby Vision video recording, catering to high-quality selfies and video calls, in line with modern iPhone models. The iPhone 16e eliminated the Home button and Touch ID, adopting Face ID for secure authentication. It introduced the customizable Action button, replacing the traditional mute switch, allowing users to quickly access preferred functions. The device did not support MagSafe accessories or fast wireless charging, offering standard key wireless charging up to 7.5 W. Instead, pre-orders for the iPhone 16e commenced on February 21, 2025, with official availability starting February 28, 2025. This release signified Apple's commitment to providing advanced technology at a more accessible price point, appealing to both existing and new users within the Apple ecosystem. Thanks for watching this video. Please like, comment, and share.